Making blanched almond flour in the Vitamix is super easy and very cost effective. Now, blanched almonds are actually peeled almonds, and if you don't know how to blanch almonds, you can check out my other video on how to blanch almonds. I bought this 3-pound bag of almonds from Costco for just under $10. But for a 5-pound bag of blanched almond flour that you can get online or from many retail stores, runs about $30 to $35. So making your own makes sense. It is worth the extra time and elbow grease because you're going to have a wonderful product for about a third of the price. Now, the difference between making almond flour and, let's say, wheat flour using wheat berries in the Vitamix is that I'm going to use the wet container for the almond flour. It's because the blade actually moves a little bit slower. Now, again, these are blanched almonds, and you can make almond meal or almond flour using just regular unprocessed almonds. However, one of the reasons why you want to do blanched almonds is because it makes a finer product. Now, you don't want to put in any more than about 2 cups of almonds. Now, the other thing you want to do is you do not want to turn this on high, usually. I have done that at the very end, but usually you want to leave it on the variable speed and pulse it up and down. You hear how the engine kind of started to sound like it was kind of wanting to gum up. That's when I stop. I take my knife and I just get around the very bottom edge because I don't want to have almond flour on the bottom, on the top, and almond butter on the bottom. Okay, let's pulse it again. Yeah, that's about done right there. Okay, now we're going to sift this flour. So much of cooking is patience and what you have patience and time for. You know, depends on your product outcome. If you really want a really fine, smooth product, then you're going to spend more time sifting it and, you know, just grinding and making sure that you have a really fine product. Whereas, you know, if you're making something where it doesn't really matter too much, if you have a few chunks of almonds here and there, then you might spend a little bit less time. It's really a personal choice, but just be aware that you are going to get these clumps, and there's still the flour. It's still the almond meal or flour. Meal really is the appropriate term, but it's called almond flour generally. But you can see there's no big chunks in there. It just sticks together because it's so oily. It's just, you know, nut oil. So you just keep working with it, and you can reprocess the big chunks. You know, if you get a chunk of nut in there, that's okay. Like, here's a chunk of nut. Oops, it fell in there. There we go. Anyway, oops. Just keep processing it. I'm not too picky because I know what I'm making, and that's an almond flour pie crust. So it really doesn't have to be too exact. It doesn't have to be super, super fine. But I can reprocess it, and I can continue to sift and then re-sift if I want to. So I just want to stop sifting for a minute to show you what type of product you're going to get here. You can see that it is about the size of sand. Let's say you're on a white sand beach. It looks and feels a lot like that. It's not a super, super fine product like you'll get with, say, cake flour or even regular flour for that matter. But this is what you can expect of almond flour that you buy at the store, almond meal that you buy at the store. And it really is a wonderful, lovely tasting product, and it really makes flaky pie crust. I could not believe the fantastic almond flour pie crust, which I have the recipe on my website, that I made using this almond flour. It's just fantastic. So I'm going to keep grinding and sifting, and I'm going to store it in a bag in my freezer until I want to use it. And it can store in there for 3 months at least. And it's just, you know, having it ready at your fingertips so you don't have to get this out and do it every time you need some almond flour. Make it easy on yourself and do a big batch at once. So I've ground almost 3 pounds of almond flour here for about $10, and I'm going to stick it in my freezer, and it's just going to be ready for me to grab at any time that I need some almond flour for a recipe. I hope that you enjoyed this session of making your own almond flour. Please be sure to visit my website at www.healthnutnation.com for more tips, tricks, and healthy living.